As Ike always says, Tuesday's worst day of the week. Ike, how you feeling on the worst day of the week?
I'm feeling pretty good, Brother Spike. Listen, I'm glad you're adopting that sort of mantra.
I'm in.
But I will say this.
Okay.
Tuesdays being the worst day of the week excludes the fact that Elliot is on with us for an hour.
Well,
today.
or it depends on who you talk to.
Well, I'm just saying, for me,
yep, you love it.
It's what I look forward to.
You love
It's the only thing I look forward to on a Tuesday.
Yep, absolutely.
Well, we got that going on. No baseball last night. Great job yesterday, fellas, as we celebrated 5-5 Day, BG Day.
BG Day.
No baseball last night, Mr. Baseball. Holla at your boy.
Baseball's back tonight.
Yeah, back.
There we go.
World Series rematch.
20 years
Yeah.
ago.
It still counts.
Well, it's a rematch for them, though. They're going to get their revenge. Yeah. They were the Devil Rays then, right?
No, that was first year.
Rays, right?
First year they were the Rays.
Oh, first year they were the Rays.
Yeah.
Well, and real quick on BG Day, is May 5th forever now BG Day? Do we do this every year now? Is there BG Day every year? Does he own 5-5 now?
Be a good move by the city.
Yeah, good move by the station.
Yeah.
Lakin, you listening, Lakin?
Well, are we doing BG Day again next year?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Every 5-5.
Yeah, I don't think we can do that. It's great. Yeah, maybe some other.
Well, I guess you don't love Brandon Graham like I do. Well, it doesn't seem like it. Big show, as Ike mentioned. Elliot Shore Parks will join us at 3. I do want to start with yesterday, which was a great day. Thank you to Doug Peterson, who joined us. We will replay that interview if you happen to miss it. It was a great time we had with Doug. We'll play that at 4:30. Nick Sirianni was great. Chris Long was great. The entire day was absolutely great. BG at the event, on the radio, everything was great. And we had a chance, and Brandon Graham, one of the couple players who won 2 Super Bowls with the Eagles. So we had a chance to talk about both, right? We had a chance to talk about the 17 Super Bowl, and we had a chance to talk about the 24 Super Bowl that they just won. And as we're talking about both of them, it just seems to me like the team in 17. This is not to downplay this year. It just seems like the team in 17 means more to people. Like there's something about not even just the Super Bowl, but the team in general. And it actually hit me when we were talking to Chris Long. And we're like, here's this guy, only here 2 years, but for some reason, people think about Chris Long as this like forever Eagle, beloved here. It only played here 2 years. And as we were talking to our guests, as we were talking to the callers, as we saw people at the event, it just seemed to me, and putting it in the framework of Brandon, that the 17 team means more to people than the 24 team does as of yet. I agree with it. I mean, for me, it's that too.
Means more?
The team means more.
Yeah.
Which one do you think? Which team means more to you?
Well, the win means more because it was the first win.
That is part of it. It's certainly part of it. Yep.
I'll start there with the win being more significant because it was the first Super Bowl for the city. But the team meaning more. Oh, man, it's a tough one. Man, it's like choosing between 2 kids.
Yep, and they're both straight-A students.
Oh, man. I got 3 kids, and believe me, there is a pecking order, but I'll never say it. I'll never say it publicly. But I'm going to go with this year's team.
Really?
I think this team, I know because we're so close to it right now, and because of the way the game played out in such dominant fashion, it may not have the same sort of nostalgia that the first one had, right? And so you know how you move further away from that first one and you start to you think back on it and you reminisce and what that was like. So you think more fondly of it.
Mm-hmm.
I get it.
As time passes.
I get it. I think eventually that's what this one will be because of how dominant the team was all year long, the level of talent on the team, the sustained power of the team, meaning that, no disrespect to the guys in 17, but that was just about it for the 2017. That Super Bowl team, it was that year. They never looked like that before then. They never looked like that after the Super Bowl. It is strictly that 2017 season that team is sort of remembered for. And as far as this one goes, the majority of these players were in the Super Bowl 2 years ago.
Yep.
Right? And then you get the guys who weren't there who are added to this roster that actually won the title, and these are going to be fan favorites for a long time. Again, no disrespect to some of those guys on 17, and we know the core four plus Nick Foles will probably always be attached. Wentz, just by proximity, will be attached to that team, although not as beloved as those other players.
Doug,
obviously, as the head coach, he'll always be attached to that and be beloved. But I think this team is the one. I think this team is the one that we stick our chest out with and say, we're with those other great organizations. This was the Super Bowl that actually solidified us what we always thought we were supposed to be with the teams that won multiple championships. You know, when Howie says, he said this a couple times, and it's not by mistake. He's mentioned, and I'm paraphrasing, about how the first one felt like it was luck. It was lightning in a bottle. It came out of nowhere, right? You did it. You broke the seal. You finally got one. This one solidifies it. This one says, no, it wasn't luck. We can do it again. This is who we are. We're a championship organization. So when I look at this team, this is the one where I'm more or less sticking my chest out, and I'm saying, yeah, you may have that team, your teams may have had those players, but this team right here, this 2024 Eagles team, I'll stack this roster up against a whole lot of other championship teams and feel good about it. So this is the one for me. This is the one that I felt like I grew with this team. I got a couple years invested into these players.
215-592-9494. On the heels of BG Day, which team means more to you, the 2017 team or the 2024 team? And I do think there is something about the fact that nothing happened before and nothing happened after that makes 17 a little more magical to me. You know, you can look at it one way. You can look at it lucky, or you can look at it as magic. I think for me, I think about those guys not doing, like Corey Clement, you know, like LeGarrette Blount, came from all different ways.
One of my favorites, yeah,
but just like
good guys.
These guys seem like a movie to me in some way, which is why I think it means more to me. Jack, where are you on that?
Yeah, but I do think that I know right now, because it's a blowout, we're going to look at it like, the game wasn't too exciting is probably the wrong term, but you understand what I mean.
No, you're right. No, a lot of people, it was sort of a boring game after the second quarter.
Sure.
But I think like 10 years from now, we're going to be like, dude, we kicked the Chiefs' ass.
Right.
You know, like up and down the field, and it was really 40-6. But, like, it really
that's going to be a show one day, by the way. Where
it was really
we plant our flag and we change the score.
Like,
of
WIP
the Super
needs to basically bully the NFL into changing the score.
We can do it.
40-22 with an asterisk.
We can do it.
You know what I mean?
It should have an asterisk.
But it's still a 17 team. It just is. And I know that those guys aren't going to be as great of players, but that's almost what makes it cool. It's like those guys turn into folk heroes and all played above their, out of body experiences almost in a way. And I think the game did factor into why we feel about the team the way that we do. Last year's team just showed how dominant they were. I don't know if we'll ever see a more dominant team than last year's Eagles team, but I think the way in which that game played out, and Brady and Gronk and the up and down the field and the no defense and the needing hero plays, like I think the game also contributed to why the 17 team has a deeper connection.
215-592-9494. Which team means more to you, the 17 team or the 2024 Eagles Super Bowl team? Man, 2 Super Bowls. We do have a next.
Did you ever think we'd get to argue about that?
Yeah, unbelievable. Yeah, which Super Bowl was
which
better?
Super Bowl means most to you?
Dude, the 2015 Eagles fans would kill us right now. You're arguing over which Super Bowl team you like better? They would think they had died and gone to heaven, by the way.
Just asking questions.
Yeah, we do have a next question today. Speaking of questions, on 2004 was the final episode of Friends. 54 million people watched the final episode of Friends.
Wow. Losers.
So for today, next question is going to losers. Everybody watch that show.
Dude, Friends sucked. Come on.
No, it didn't. Don't be one of
did.
those people that says now that it sucked. It didn't suck. It didn't suck.
Yeah,
well. 04, you were 9 years old.
Dude, I was in 4th grade. Don't worry about it. I knew it sucked.
All right. So for next question today, call out, we'll talk about birds, but also we're going to get a notable finale. So it can be great or it can be horrible. We'll just say notable finale. Can be TV, can be movies, can be sports, whatever it is. Jack, Give us a notable finale.
Yeah, so I growing up, I watched Seinfeld sporadically. Like I knew a lot of the episodes, but never sat down and watched it start to finish. And all I ever heard was the finale was horrible, finale sucked, yada yada yada. So a couple years ago, when it finally got on Netflix, me and Jill sat there and watched the entire series all the way through. I liked the finale.
I thought the Seinfeld finale was also good.
It was fine.
Yes.
It was. How else did you want it? I don't know how you wanted it to end where you'd be happy with it. I thought it ended in a very Seinfeld way. I think the Seinfeld finale is a little overrated in how much people think it sucked.
So it's underrated
Yes.
in its appreciation.
It was fine.
Okay.
Fine finale.
Seinfeld, but I didn't expect that from Jack. Ike, a notable finale from you?
Notable finale. So many to choose from. I'm going to go with a disappointing one for me.
Okay.
I'm going to go with the ending of the Martin series.
I do not remember how Martin ended.
Yeah, Martin was the whole final season was damn near terrible.
Okay.
He and Gina, they had issues off Tisha Campbell, I should say.
Yep.
Off screen.
Yep.
To where they weren't even filming together. So they were filming separate. That was
a couple.
Terrible. Yes, it was a married couple.
Yeah.
That was never in the same
room.
Scene.
Oh, wow.
With each other. And then they did this whole Martin's going out to California to try to be a TV host, that whole thing. It was just bad all the way around, man.
So notable in terms of it being bad. That Martin's
just bad for a series that was so good throughout its entirety.
Sure.
Like for it to end the way that it ended, I thought it was just terrible.
So I'm going to go movies, and I'm going Saw X.
Saw X?
Yeah, so Saw, the horror franchise. And by the way, this shows our relationship. One of the first things my wife and I started doing, she loves the Saw movies. I had to catch up on all the Saw movies. And I actually don't do well. I like horror. I don't do well with gore. But I actually thought Saw X, the final Saw movie, was done very well. I thought it was a good way to wrap up and actually they left it open, so I wonder if it's even going to be the final one. But it was supposed to be the final one. So I'm going Saw X as my notable finale.
Is that like the 10th one? Saw X?
Yes.
Oh, God. I remember watching the earlier Saw.
Dude,
they got all the way to 10?
Dude, they are a tough watch, man.
Man.
If you don't like gore, I mean, I had to... In a couple of different movies, and one of the Saw ones, I get dizzy when it gets too gory.
Yeah.
I've had to walk out of theaters before.
Right.
And Saw is one that's, yes, Jack, it's happened twice. I've had to walk out of the theater.
Dizzy from watching a movie.
All the blood and all
Dead
of
Presidents.
That.
You remember the movie Dead Presidents?
Yeah.
I had to walk out of that because the war stuff in the beginning.
Wow.
And I had to walk out of Prometheus. Yeah, I'm a coward. What do you want out of me?
Yeah.
Clip that. 215-592-94.
He will.
Yes. 215-592-9494. Which Super Bowl team means more to you, 17 or 24? Next question today based on the Friends finale. Give us a notable finale.